To start things out for this week's Things That Need to Be Said, I'm going to show you a couple of clips from Tuesday night. Here's clip number 1.
Yeah! Definitely a cop car. I was on my way home. This is in the middle of 52nd Street.
All right, now let's take a look at clip number 2. You might be thinking to yourself, I do believe we've seen tons of these kinds of videos over the last 6 months, so all that rioting was most likely in the name of what the left calls systemic racism by police against black people. Now first, I'm aware that nobody talks like that, but second, you'd only be half right. The first clip was from the rioting going on in Philadelphia following the death of a knife-wielding maniac at the hands of police. The second video, well, that rioting happened in Los Angeles because...
Strike 3! Dodgers have won it all in 2020!
Basically, I'm done hearing that rioting and looting are mostly peaceful protests, or that it's just people letting off steam. The criminals, yes, criminals, who riot in different cities don't care one bit about black people, black businesses, and they certainly don't give a damn about black lives. Hey everybody, thanks for joining me for another Things That Need to Be Said. For MRC-TV, I'm Nick Kangadis. Folks, I'm not going to take up too much of your time today, but I just got to say, if these activist district attorneys and judges had the slightest bit of backbone or weren't the slightest bit communist, maybe some of these criminal rioters would face some repercussions. And that argument that the items these criminals have looted are reparations for past wrongs like slavery, get all the hell out of here with that garbage. It's just another excuse for bad behavior. When you can't tell the difference between riots because of a police-involved shooting and riots and looting because a sports team won a game, it might be time to look in the mirror and wonder, maybe it's me. Here's the thing, folks. For most of us that aren't progressive and have a sense of the things that have happened in the past, rioting and looting like we've seen this year isn't anything new. It's just more accepted now because of the corruption of our major cities like New York, like Chicago, Portland, Seattle, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, and San Francisco, just to name a few. Growing up in Chicago, I clearly remember wondering why people were rioting whenever the Chicago Bulls would win a championship. And in the 90s, that was almost every year.
Pan over here to the right and show you the black and white cab. You can see that's what it looks like after it was turned over once and then turned over again.
You know what else I'm sick of? The absolute 100% fact, and you can fact check as much as you like, but I'm sick and tired of all these peaceful protests, riots, and looting escapades being given a free pass, while anytime 3 conservatives look at each other in public, or more than 10 Orthodox Jews gather to observe their religion, it's considered a super spreader event.
It's a super spreader.
No, super spreader.
We had a super spreader.
Super spreader.
Super spreader.
Well, it's already a spreader. Will it amount to a super spreader, do we think?
Black Lives Matter, Antifa, activists in general, the COOF, and now Dodgers fans apparently, all of these entities have taken over the year 2020. 2020, which is supposed to indicate perfect vision, has been the most out-of-focus year possibly in the history of the United States. As far as I'm concerned, all of these things are just distractions from how absolutely and overtly corrupt the left has been and continues to become. They've just decided that since a growing portion of the people aren't buying the propaganda from any of their usefully idiotic tools, the media, celebrities, and athletes anymore, they're going to incorporate violence on a mass level into their strategy. Maybe the entities I listed just a minute ago, BLM, Antifa, activists, the COOF, and Dodgers fans, are all simply distractions to deter people from noticing the ridiculous amount of shortcomings and failings the far left is responsible for, while not accepting any responsibility for what they should be responsible for. Make sense? Did you get all that? Basically, if you sit back and really look at it, the left's primary tactic in anything is to blame others for what they are guilty of themselves. Now I'm going to leave you with this. You remember Saul Alinsky, mentor to Hillary Clinton, the author of Rules for Radicals? Well, to understand the methods of the radical left that we're seeing destroying beautiful cities regularly, I'm just going to read you a few of Alinsky's 13 rules for radicals. Quote, The third rule is, whenever possible, go outside of the experience of the enemy. Here you want to cause confusion, fear, and retreat. The fifth rule, ridicule is man's most potent weapon. It is almost impossible to counterattack ridicule. Also, it infuriates the opposition who then react to your advantage. The eighth rule, keep the pressure on with different tactics and actions and utilize all events of the period for your purpose. The 11th rule is, if you push a negative hard and deep enough, it will break through into its counter side. This is based on the principle that every positive has a negative. Basically, if you repeat a lie often enough, eventually most people will believe it. The 12th rule, the price of a successful attack is a constructive alternative. You cannot risk being trapped by the enemy in his sudden agreement with your demand and saying, "You're right, we don't know what to do about this issue. Now you tell us," unquote. Which goes to what I've said before, that the left, no matter how much they're given, no matter how many of their demands that are met, are never satisfied with the result. They always want more. Folks, I'd love your feedback on this one. Is all this making sense? Am I making sense? Let me know in the comments, where I do read most and respond to some. And don't forget, #DumpTwitter. Follow me on Parler. If you like this video, don't forget to share it and give it a thumbs up. Those are the two best ways to let us know you want us to keep these videos coming. Subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so that YouTube might let you know when MRC-TV comes out with a new video if it hasn't been taken down yet. Like us on Facebook and check out our work on MRCTV.org. For MRC-TV, I'm Nick Kangadis.